All right, welcome back to the channel and VEX game VEX V5 override. They just dropped the game menu. So this is version 1, 0.1. And so we're gonna go ahead and take a look. I'm gonna skip all of this. Let's get down to the business down here. So right, let's look at the introduction here. They basically just introducing the game. So we can also skip this. All right, so here are some important dates. So we're gonna have an update on May 14, just official Q&A system open, and then June 4 will be where they do some minor changes. All right, the big one here will be the version 1.0 would be July 2nd of 2026, and here are all the dates. Right, so let's come down to the actual games and see what happened. Here's a feel if you haven't looked at it yet. So the autonomous period, we're going to talk about that in a second. I believe they mentioned that over here, but here we got 63 pins and we got 9 goals, and we also have 4 roller or tongles they call it, and then 4 loaders. All right. So here is where they are basically. There are the 9 goals they're talking about. A couple of these goals will be the color. So this is a blue corner here. So this will be blue and this will be blue. And this is the red corner. So this will be red and this will be red. So right here, it's a better picture for you. All right. So the outside, you're going to have your color and yellow pin. So if you're blue, you're going to have blue and yellow. If you have red, then you're going to have red and yellow. All right, you're going to have it out there. And then you also look like you're also going to have one of those yellow on each side. All right. And all right, let's take a look at more here. Scoring. Okay. The autonomous bonus will give you 12 points. And then if you do a color pin, then it's 5 points. And if you have the yellow roller, if you have that roller turn to your color, so if you red, then you turn that tongles or you turn that roller to red, then all the yellow pins you're going to score in that is 10 points. If you have your robot in the midfield zone, then it's 8 points. This at the end of the match, the last 10 seconds. So here's what it looked like right here. So anything in clear will be score. All right. So this is yellow. This yellow is not score right now until the teams that is whatever color this going to be. So it's red or blue. It's going to count for that team. All right. So the pin is score if it's inside the cup or partially inside. This is considered not scored because it's not inside the cup or not partially inside the cup. So that's what it is. Let's go down here. We can see that this now is red. So that means all the yellow pins here will be scored for red. When the roller is yellow, the yellow count as 0. It does not belong to any teams. However, if the yellow is inside the center, this yellow belongs to whoever is in here, I believe. So right here, you can see more scoring options. So when the toggle is yellow, when the roller is yellow, this yellow doesn't count. It has 0 points, okay? And then when this right here turn blue, then all this yellow count for the blue, as you can see, and vice versa. When it's red, then it's count for the red team, okay? So that is the difference, okay? The autonomous bonus point for autonomous. Each alliance will receive an autonomous bonus of 6 points. If it is a tie, if not, it's 12 points. All right. Here is how you get the autonomous win point. So you have to score at least 7. So you have to score 7 pin, and place them on yours alliance. Place for your alliance. do not include pin score on quadrant on the opposite side of the autonomous line. So anything that's on the autonomous line does not count. It have to be on your quadrants. So it have to be 3 locations. You have to score on 3 goals, and it have to be 7 pins. And each goal have to contain at least 2 pins. Okay. Wow, that's kind of tough. 2 pins on each of the goal, and then you have to have it on 3 goals, and then you're not touching the field perimeters at the end. Okay, so that is kind of, I don't know if that's doable yet, so we'll see. All right, so down here, starting the match, no larger than 18 by 18, all that stuff. All right. Okay, here's the important thing is that the horizontal expansion is limited to 24 by 24 by 24. It cannot be larger than 24 or longer than 24. So it need to be able to fit within a 24 by 24 square horizontal footprint. So this is 12. Here's an example of it. So this is 19 when it's the longest part. So at no point does your robot can go beyond the 24. So whatever orientation your robot in, it cannot expand more than the 24. Okay. And then vertical expansion is limited to 50 inches. I don't know how they're gonna, I don't know. We'll see. 50, how do they do that? Because I remember they mentioned something about in the center, you cannot go past 18. So how do they, measure all that? Each robot must get 1 pin as a preload, just like this year's game. You have to get a 1 pin. It's gonna be your color and the yellow pin. So if you are blue, then it's blue and yellow. If you're red, then you use a red and yellow. All right. Same thing. So maximum procession is limited to 1 pin and 1 cup, or you can do just 1 pin or 1 cup. But the max you can do is 1 pin and 1 cup. That's how I understand it. And then don't cross the autonomous line, don't interfere with other people, all that stuff. Team should avoid action that okay, same thing like all this year's Auton, right? Okay, so here is the autonomous line. Anything in these circles here is considered on the autonomous line. So including these 4 little corners here. So I think that your autonomous line will be in this shape right here if you're looking at my mouse. So it's look like an M shape here, little mountain. So in that quadrant of yours, you cannot go past that. All right. So and just like spin up, you cannot go past this right here. So you cannot even cross over your alliance autonomous line. So you cannot cross over that. Okay. So same thing, midfield or autonomous line or blah blah blah. Same thing. Team are responsible for the robot action at all times. So you're not supposed to come and bump into this way and distract other people. Autonomous. So violation occurred, had referees will make a call. So there's not much on that. And alliance goals are protected. So you cannot de-score here. You cannot, robot may not directly or indirectly interact with the opposing alliance color goals. So you can go to the neutral goal, the yellow, but you cannot go to the one with the black color base, but you cannot go to the red if you are the blue, and you cannot rescore those or put something on it. Scored object can't be removed from neutral or opposing alliance goal. Robot may not remove scoring object from goal that do not match the alliance color. Okay, so over here they said you cannot remove anything from any goal except for the one that is your color alliance. So your base is, if you are blue, then you can only put stuff in your blue and remove it from there. You cannot go to the black base or the red one if you are blue. Mat load may be introduced during the mass under such and such. Okay, so mass loading. So if you can look closely where my mouse is right now, you can see that this right here is a handle, right? And because the pin can go in this way, so this back here is open. So you can load your objects by dropping from top down, or you can pull it up and then you can just drop it down this way. So for the cup, you're going to drop from the top down, and then for the pin, you can just put it in sideways like this, so it's easily get in there. But I don't think it's going to be a problem for people to drop it from all the way in the top. I mean, the height might bounce out a little bit, so it might be harder for your robot to grab. But hey, I think it's doable there. So there's a lot of human play right here, and I don't know. They said how long can you do it? Like how long can you hold it? So do you pull it up, load it, and then hold it, or can you drop it down? So do you have to drop it down right away? So let's see. I don't know. I'm looking at it to try to figure it out. Maslow, for the purpose of the introduced, refer to moment when a driver team had released a scoring object into the loader. During this action, hand may be temporarily break the plane of the perimeter field. This moment is an exception. Okay, so you have to do like quickly, I guess. You cannot just stand there and hold the loader. All right, safety rules, all that stuff, safety classes. All right. This VEX U, so we're gonna skip that as well. All right, our work must represent the skill level of student on the team. So, teachers and coach cannot build or code the bot. Engineer notebook. All right, so we got that. We're gonna see if there's more down here. There should be more. Robot on the field must be ready to play. Hands out the field. So this is an exception when you are reloading stuff, I guess. So I was worried about they're gonna tell us to make sure that we tape the center. I'm not sure if we are taping the center, or if it's already reprint. And I like it to be preprint on it. If it print on it, then it's easy because then we don't have to worry about the line not being straight or anything like that, because parking in that end, in that zone at the end of the last 10 seconds there will give you a point. So people might argue the line is like not straight or something like that. So the line hopefully is already printed on the mat for us. So what else do we have here? DQ, timeout, get your robot together. All right, this is something that a lot of teams may not know. The red alliance may choose to place lat. That means you place your robot on the field after the blue already did. And if the blue change the robot, you have an option of changing how you play your robot as well. So, autonomous mean no human. So, what else do we have here to look at? Holding count, trapping. All right, the robot are separate by at least 2 feet, and then move at least 2 feet away. And the count, that would be five count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you stay away for 2 feet, and then after 5 counts, you come back. You score an object to play the game, and you cannot climb to the field. This is robot skill challenge here. So let's see what they do. The robot that start skill, you have to be in the quadrant adjacent to the red alliance. So you will be playing red, either quadrant you're gonna be. You have to stay in the red alliance station. You're gonna have to get a preload that is a red and yellow pin, because now you're a red alliance. So team may only introduce match load scoring object to the red alliance loader. So you can do the one on the left or the one on the right, doesn't matter. You can add or remove pins or cup from all the goals. So this is opposite. This is a little different from the match play. Match play, you only allow to touch your color alliance goal. For this one, you can touch anything and remove and add, and you can move freely around the field. So that's right. That's the difference there. Um, so this is how you team can earn point for pin of any color. So you're gonna have uh, points for each of the pin that you score. Doesn't matter what color it is. So the red pin only score if it's placed on the red quadrant or in the midfield. The blue pin score in the blue quadrant or the midfield. All right, so it's scored for any color, but it have to be in the correct quadrant. Toggle only confer ownership of pin if they match the color of the quadrant. So the yellow pin placed in the red quadrant with the toggle that is set to blue will not earn. So the yellow pin in the red quadrant must have the roller turn into a red to make that score. All right. And all yellow pins placed in the midfield count for point. So a pin that contact with the robot that end the dot score. So if it's contact, it does not count. All right. So each red and blue with 5 points. Each yellow pin placed in the matching color quadrant is 10 points, and the robot in the midfield is 8 points. Okay. So that is how you play the skill. So let's. The field is set up differently than head-to-head match with autonomous coding skill master. So they have to get a GPS, revive match load. So this will be the match load. All right. And then all the goals start empty. So there's nothing inside the goal at all. Okay. So your preload going to be 3 red yellow pin because you already have 1 red yellow pin as your preload. And then you got 4 blue yellow pin, and then you got 7 cups. Okay. So that what it looked like. So this is what the skill field look like. So all of this will be different, will be empty. All right. So the red gonna have to score onto the red quadrant, like in either this right here or here. All right. So if you look at the diagonal autonomous, the red pin can only count if it's inside this quadrant. So it could be on the black here, black goal, or it can be on the red goal, or in the center goal. Now the blue can only count if it's in the blue or the black on the blue quadrant, or it could be in the center. And then the yellows only count if it's in the correct location. So if this is yellow, I have to go back and look at that, but you guys could read that there. What else we're looking at? The robot inspections. So let's see. 1 robot per team. Well, that's usually the case. Subsystem 1. So subsystem 1 will be the base, including wheel, track, legs, and other that allow the robot to navigate the major platform. So this subsystem 1 is the drivetrain. Okay. The robot base without wheel would consider. Okay. For a stationary robot, the robot base without the wheel can be considered. So it's a drivetrain. Subsystem 1. Power and control system that include a legal VEX battery, blah, 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 for movement. So that's subsystem 2, and subsystem 3 will be additional mechanism allow, like, so, arms and such. Okay. So team may not complete 1 robot. Team may not have an assembled second bot on hand. Team may switch back and forth. No, might not. Okay. So makes sense. Must pass inspection. So you cannot do a full swap of system 3. That would be your must be re-inspected. So if you change your subsystem 3, which is your let's say your intakes and your claws and all that stuff, all your mechanism, you cannot change it fully. You have to get re-inspect. All right, so robot must fit within the 18 by 18 by 18 to start. So that right there is the same. And then, oh, I see license plate. Oh, it's like look at that. Official registered team number must be displayed on robot license plate. To participate, team may choose to use official license plate or create their own legal material. License plate must play in fixed location. Man, I'm just like I miss those magnetic license plates so much. Uh, the top of the robot is not considered. License plate should be mounted in the location that, so it's going to be on the side of the robot. It's going to be on the opposite side, so front and back or left and right. Um, so VEX IQ pin are not legal for mounting robot. So it's only do the one that's matching that color. License consider function. It's a functional component and must meet the requirement robot rule. Cannot be used robot for any purpose. Additional license plate cannot be used on the robot for any purposes. Okay, so you cannot put your team name on it. Team number must be in white font and clear, legible, number plate, blah, blah, blah. All right, so here we go to the next one, which is R10. Motors are limited. So we already know that the drivetrain, they limit that to 55 watt. So they allow us to use the V5 smart motor that is 11 watt or 5.5 watt. And the combined power, the total of that cannot be more than 88 watt. This limit applies to all motors on the robot, even those are not like, so if you have a motors on the bot but you don't even plug it in, it still count as part of the 88 watt. So you cannot use a motor as a counterweight, for example. I don't know why you would do that, but hey. V5 smart motor connect to smart port, the only motor that may be used with a V5 robot frame. Okay. And the 3 wire ports may not be used to control motor of any kind. So you cannot use the 3 wire port for any other motors beside the V5 smart motors. So I think that's what they meant. You cannot use anything beside the V5 smart motors. So if you have some Cortex stuff, you cannot use it. All right, so here's some option for you to do your to combine your motors. The 5.5 watt, so you can have 9 motors, you can have 10 motor, you can have 11 motor, or you can have 16 motors, depending on how you want to use it. Now the thing is, if you have 16 motor, I don't know how you're going to do your drivetrain. If you are using a 6 motor drivetrain, I include the 5.5 watt as one of the motors. So you're gonna have to do on each side you're gonna have 2 11 watt and one 5.5 watts, and you have to gear the 5.5 watt up to 600 RPM. So you have to look into how to do that. Now I'll show you guys some example in another video on how to do so. But all right, subsystem 1, which is the drivetrain again. You can use any combination of your motors. Okay. All right. Electrical power come from VEX battery only, so we can only use VEX V5 battery. No other source is legal. All that stuff. All right. Teams are permitted to have an external power source, such as rechargeable battery pack, plugged into their V5 controller during a match to providing that this power source is connected safely and does not violate any other rules such as R2 TA. What does that mean? Like, so you have an external power source. So you have a battery pack plug into the V5 controller. So you could have your V5 controller charged during your match. Okay. Some event might choose to provide fuel power for V5 controller if this provide for all team. That's the event and this legal source. Okay. All right. Use VEX next. All that stuff. Radio some. Give the video some space. Okay. No more than 2 controllers. Okay, that's same thing. Robot are built from the VEX V5 system. You only build using official VEX components unless otherwise set in the rule. Only legal part V5 listed in the V5 competition legal part list. So in here, they will tell you all the part lists that's legal. Uh, so there's a whole bunch of people in here right now. Let's see. So legal parts. Here are some legal parts. These are V5 stuff, and I don't see. So if they have the SKU number, those are on the Vex Robotics website that you can purchase. So all these are Vex V5 stuff. I'm trying to see if there's anything that is not on the Vex V5 parts. So they got all that stuff. See, all of these are legal. Bearing, base plate, you can use that for counterweight. You can use that for weight. All these old wheels, this intake roller, ratchet gear. So you can see that we have all this. Uh, Linear slides, screws. So basically the same thing, like everything that you can purchase on the website. You can use all this 3-wire sensors, change system. So I don't see anything that is. Oh, you can use the old claw kit. And the 12T metal pinions, I call this gear, but this right here, you can use that to gear up your 5.5 if you use a 36. Ooh, this is legal? I have to look into this. So the gyro sensor is legal. I didn't know that it's an option. All right, so we have that, and you continue with this, and you can see all the legal parts. And I don't see anything that is like, I haven't seen beside that gyro, so that's a good thing that I go through it. I see that there's a gyro, and then we have the wire suspension cable. We got all that claw batteries. What is this? Okay, the same thing. All right, we got those. A lot more. Optical sensor, V5 GPS sensor. So I might look into getting one of those and see what we can do with it. This is horrible, by the way. If you guys looking into purchasing the low profile, high strength, don't. This screw sucks. All right, it's gonna strip. You cannot even take it apart, take it out. Like when you screw it in the first time, it's great, but then when you try to remove it and then you use it again, it's not gonna work. So, what else do we have? Just more stuff. Pneumatics. Ooh, this right here gonna cost us a little bit if we are using those. I need to get some of these. The Magnum wheels. I don't know if any team could decide to build using a Magnum wheel. I don't see why we would do that. I'd rather do the X drive than use a Magnum wheel. This might come in handy for some of the teams because this right here can be the thing that you use to turn the roller or the tongles. Oh, reservoir. I would love to see if I can find some old reservoir. All right, those are tinier than the current one. The new version is a little bit bigger, so we need space. So yeah, I just went through it and I don't see anything much really. So I'm gonna close that out real quick. Let me go back to my game manual. Where's my game manual? My game manual is not here, so let's look at that again. I think I closed that out a little bit earlier. So, so So let's take a look back at the game. So you can see here how we look at it. The center, I'm hoping that this center line here is come with the tie that's already printed. Then that would be good, because we were going to start fighting for like, oh, my thing is inside the thing, your line is not straight. Yeah, I don't want to fight over that if I'm a head ref for the match. All right, so let me scroll down. I don't know where I went. This is V5 VEX U. We don't need VEX U, so let's go back to up here. I think I'm almost down to like finish. All right, so uh, let's see, what's are we looking at? Um, Pneumatics components. If you are modifying it a little bit, no modification to electronic or pneumatic component allowed. All right, so you cannot modify it, replacing the gear cartridge with other official cartridge. Team may make the following modification to V5 smart motor. Yeah. Okay. All right. The toggle look like this is a triangle. It's not like it's so. Uh, Strength of schedule, all that stuff. So quadrant. So uh, there are 4 quadrants. So the quadrant does not include the center, as you can see. So they color it differently. So each of the quadrant would be where you have to stay within the during the autonomous period. So you have to be within those. It does not include the white line there. So if you on it, you fine. But if you cross over, you are not good. So that, and here's the object of the game. It seemed like it's really big, but if you look at my camera, it's small. It can fit from the the tip of my finger to the end of my hand, the palm, so I can hold it. So that is, it's about what? It's about 5 inches there, 5 6 inches, and it's very easily push over. So if I am holding it and you come and you push, it will come. Depend on how you put it. If you put it on the top, it come out right there. And if you are pushing right in the center, it's gonna come out the one at the bottom, like the whole stack coming out. So you can see how that is, right? And so yeah, it's kind of fun. Scoring objects, talking about schedule of the match and all that stuff, and the loaders. Here is the handle. That's the handle, is where you're gonna hold and you can pull up and down. As you can see, there's opening here, so this is gonna go all the way up, all the way down, and the back is open. And here are the goal. So if you are red alliance, you can remove and insert new stuff into the red alliance. You cannot do that to the blue. You cannot put anything in the blue. You cannot remove anything from the blue if you are red. But you know, so you cannot. But you can only do it to your color. All right. So there are 9 goals around the field. Gonna be fun to set up for even partner like me. It would be 9 plates, 9 metal plates for us to set up for each of the field. All right, what else here? So we got this is the I'm gonna assume that this right here is the roller. All right. Okay. All right. So here the spec for the field. I mean, it is what it is. So when you set it up, it might or might not be exact to all the fields, but dimensions wise. So this is how they tape line specification. Oh no. So I found my answer for this. We have to tape the line in the center, and you can see how they show you to tape it. All right, so we're gonna tape it diagonally from that intersection, the center of that intersection. And this right here, outside tape edge at center of tile. So, oh, gonna be fun. So we're gonna find the center of this tile. Let's call that tile C. We need to find the center of that to get the outermost part of that tape line to be in the center. So that's gonna be fun when we tape stuff. It's not gonna be the same everywhere. All right, the loader can go up and down. All right, here it's a roller. I want to see when I get my hand on the feel and want to see how this does, because the if you remember spin up, they got the circle and then they got a little section where you can look down and see the colors. Is that the same with this? I don't know. All right, so these are all dimensions of the parts, and you can see this right here. It's 6.5 inches total, so I was close. I said 5.6, but it's 6.5 inches. All right, it's not too big there. And then if we can make this into a circle, you can call this diameter of this will be what? That would be 3.02 about, right? This is how the fuse set up. You have some things like this. It's gonna be crazy. Everything here is stationary. How you're gonna drive around? Look like there's a cup. There's a cup in the center of that. So that is a cup in center of that. All right. That's gonna be fun. All right, there's not much. All right, I think that's it for this game manual, and you can read more on the website. All right, enjoy. I think I'm gonna end the video right here.